राधे राधे अमृतवाणी जी.
Radhe Radhe Pranay ji, this is Tripti. Today I
Hi,
opened
Tripti
the
ji,
bridge.
Radhe Radhe. Yes.
Radhe Radhe, how are you?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I am doing well. So you are host now. You can make Vijay ji co-host.
Yes.
Means you must be doing every day,
Right.
every Monday and Saturdays.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. राधे राधे सत्यपाल जी, कैसे हैं आप?
मैं बिल्कुल ठीक हूँ, आप कैसे हैं?
मैं भी ठीक हूँ. कहाँ पे हैं आप? यूएस में?
मैं मेरीलैंड.
ओह, मेरीलैंड में. अच्छा अच्छा.
आप कहाँ पे हैं?
हम फ्लोरिडा में हैं.
फ्लोरिडा.
हाँ.
वार्म स्टेट.
हाँ.
फ्लोरिडा में कहाँ पे हो आप?
मायामी. मायामी.
ओह, प्रॉपर मायामी में.
आप मायामी से 20 माइल की दूरी पे हूँ.
या वहाँ तो बहुत टूरिस्ट जाते हैं.
बिल्कुल. राधे राधे इंदु जी. इंदु जी ज्वाइन कर रही है.
मेरा बेटा भी सोच रहा है क्रिसमस के आसपास 2-3 रातों के लिए वहां जाने के लिए.
यहाँ मायामी.
मायामी कह रहा था. मायामी.
वेरी नाइस. अच्छी जगह है.
बीच के पास है कुछ. हाँ
हाँ हाँ, बिल्कुल.
तो अभी उसने बनाया नहीं प्रोग्राम, बता रहा था.
अच्छा अच्छा.
अभी आचार्य जी नहीं आए.
नहीं आए हैं अभी. अभी आएंगे.
तो ये मीटिंग आपने आरंभ करी है?
ना, वो आते हैं. वो क्या कहते हैं, अपने टेम्पल वाले. हाँ, वो करके जाते हैं. तो या हमको दे के जाते हैं.
जेके योग का हेडक्वार्टर तो
डैलस
के पास है. डैलस में.
या
ह्यूस्टन में. डैलस के. ओके.
Yep. So those who have joined, we are waiting for Vijay sir, our teacher, to join. So that's why. Radhe Radhe everyone. We are waiting for Vijay sir to join. Then we will start the Sanskrit session. Thank you. Mr. Wayne, how far you are from the temple? JK Yog Temple.
6 miles.
6 miles. Okay, so you are very close, pretty close.
Yes. Yes. How about you?
Oh, I'm in Florida, so a lot far away.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm getting call from. So, sir will be a little late, so he told me to start the session and he will be joining soon. So let's do that then. Okay, so as he started, let's continue from there. So just we'll wait 1 or 2 minutes more and then 1 more minutes and then we'll start that. Okay, Radhe Radhe everyone. So we are going to start now the session of Sanskrit learning, and Vijay sir will be joining soon. He told that he will be a bit late, so we should start that. So let's make it more interactive. So when we meet, first we greet people. So in Sanskrit, how do you know, what do we say to greet a person? Anyone? Induji, yes, go ahead, please, Induji. I'm unmuting you. Go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, everybody.
Radhe Radhe, Induji. Yes.
Bhavatya Naam Kim.
So Bhavatya or Bhavata will come later. So first
Naam Kim.
First we'll greet people. How we'll greet people? What we should say?
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Very good. That's one. Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha.
Namo Namaha. Namo Namaha means, as the word says, Nama means to bow in front of someone, to bow.
Right. So we can say it to our elders.
Even contemporary also we can say Namo Nama, because the concept of Nama is not for the person itself, but the word has come from that I am bowing in front of the godliness within you.
Yeah,
so
but if you are talking,
yes,
if you are talking to the kids,
yeah, we can greet to everyone Namo Nama. Why not? Let's do Namo Nama. Yes, to everyone.
Namo Nama.
Namo Nama.
Okay.
And the reply is also Namo Nama, right?
No. Yes.
Okay. So after that, we say that, what's your name? We want to introduce. So Induji, how you will ask Wayne Ji? You want to ask his name?
Wayne Ji Bhavtah Naam. Bhavtah Naam Kim.
Bhavatah Naam Kim. What is your name? That's Wayne. So Wayne, how you will answer that?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so you have heard that. So my name is Wayne. So my word is Mama.
Mama.
Name is Naam. Naam.
Mama Naam.
Wayne.
Wayne.
Yeah, my name is Wayne.
Okay, we repeat that again. It's Mama Naam Wayne.
Wayne, correct. Now you want to ask Induji what's her name is. But now the masculine, for male, it's a Bhavatah Naam Kim. Satyapal ji, would you like to ask Indu ji what's her name?
Whom?
Indu ji.
Bhavatya naam kim?
You are muted. You are muted.
Mam nama Indu.
So you have seen Bhavata for male. And if you are asking female, that's the Bhavatya. Right? Bhavatya naam kim. And then they will say that Mama naam Indu. Okay. Where do you live? How do you say Indu ji? Ask Satyapal ji, where do you live? Bhavan. Bhavan. Where? Bhavan. No.
Bhavan.
You.
Kim,
Bhavan.
Kim. Yeah. Bhavan Kim Nagara Vasati.
So for where it comes Kutra.
Kutra, yeah.
Yes.
From what?
Yeah. So tell that Bhavan Kutra.
Bhavan Kutra Nagara
Nagare.
Vasti.
In
Nagare Vasti.
Yes.
Bhavan Kutra Nagare Vasti.
Very good.
So Kutra means
Where?
which one?
Where?
Where? Okay.
Hi Anita ji. Oh, Anita ji. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Satyapal ji, answer please. Where do you live?
Aham Rockville Nagare Vasami.
Very good. Aham Rockville Nagare Vasami. I live in Rockville town or Rockville city, whatever. Right? Okay. Now you want to ask Wayne ji, Satyapal ji, where does he live? Please ask him.
Bhavatya Kutra Nagare Vasati.
Wayne, Bhavatah.
Wayne.
So Bhavata means your. Here you can use Bhavan, you. Do you live, you are saying. Bhavan means you.
Bhavan Kutra Nagare Vasti.
So he's asking you, Wayne, that where do you live? Which city you live? Which town you live?
I'll need help.
Yeah. So aham, I.
Aham.
Which city? Dallas Nagare. Dallas Nagare Basami. Basami means I live.
Oh, aham. Dallas.
Nagare. Basami. Yes. Dallas Nagare Basami.
Aham. Dallas. Batami.
Yes. Aham Dallas Nagare Basami. Okay. Very good. Now, Induji, just to try. I drink water. How you will say in Sanskrit?
Aham Jalam Pivami.
Very good. Satyapal ji, you are telling Induji, she drinks water. How do you say?
Sa Jalam Pivasi.
Pivati. Pivati. Okay. Sa Jalam Pivati. Okay. You drink water. How do you say, Mr. Wayne, how you will say you drink water?
I need a cheat sheet.
Okay. You is Tuama.
Tuama.
Jalam is water. Jalam. Pibasi. Tuam Jalam Pibasi.
Swam Jalam Pipati.
Pibasi. S-I.
Pipasi.
Pibasi.
Swam Jalam Pipati.
Pibasi. Yes.
Pipasi.
Yes.
Swam Jalam Pipati.
Pibasi. Pibasi. Yes. Sumesh ji, if say that we drink water, how will say Sumesh ji in Sanskrit?
Aham jalam pibami.
No, we.
We. Okay. Vayam jalam pibama.
pibamah. Yes. Vayam jalam pibamah. Yes, sir is now. Radhe Radhe, sir, over to you. Just in your absence, we are practicing some translation.
Oh, very good, very good. Namo Namah.
That was very good, Pranayji.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you.
really good.
Namo Namah. Idanim Kendriya Samaya Anusare Dasha Adhika Ashtavadana Samaya Kasyit Vilambena Adyatana Kaksha Arambaha Bhavati. Apologies, I'm starting class a little bit late today. Last week, we saw how some verbs were used. Yatha gacchati, agacchati, uttishtati, upavishati, pibati, pathati, ityadi. And we also saw how to combine that with pronouns like saha, eshaha, sa, tvam, aham, etc. So let's continue the practice that Pranayaji and you were doing. I am eating. Aham khadami. Now, I am reading. How will you say that? Hastamuttolayatu.
Raise your hand, please, to translate.
Yes,
I am eating. Okay, Induji, go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, everybody. Ahem patami.
Aham pathami. Very good. You are reading. How will you say that?
Tvam patasi.
Very good. You all are reading. Who would like to try that? Who you all are reading?
Satyapal ji,
हाँ जी,
बताइए. You all are reading.
यूयम
Patat.
Patatha. Yuyam
पठत
patatha. We are reading. Who is going to answer that?
Sumesh
We
ji.
are reading.
Sumesh ji.
Vayam pathamah.
Excellent. Now let
Vijay,
me.
I have a question.
Sure. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
You said that when there's a visarg, we say pathaha. And then patsi pathaha. And one time I said pathat, and you said that no, it's pathaha. So I cannot make the difference between the visarg aha or not visarg, like patsi pathaha.
It is only patatha, not pataha. Patatha. Patatha.
Patatha.
It's
And with the visarg is pathaha.
patataha, patatha. So the visarg comes in the second case, and then patatha.
Okay, thank you. I got it now.
Okay, so there's no visarg in the patatha. Okay, so let's go to our PowerPoint. Let me share some noun forms. Just give me a minute here. Okay, I'm having some trouble with opening that. So let me just go to the video now. Okay, let's see this video.
मम नाम मिथिला मम नाम वेदा मम नाम दीपिका।
अहं शिक्षकः। भवान् कः?
अहं छात्रः।
भवान् कः?
अहं कार्यकर्ता।
भवती का?
अहं छात्रा।
भवती का?
अहं गृहिणी।
समीचीनम्। भवान् उत्तिष्ठतु। भवान् उत्तिष्ठति। भवन्तः उत्तिष्ठन्ति।
Sir, it paused.
No, I just paused it to say that Bhavan Uttishtati is singular, Bhavantaha Uttishtanti is plural, right? Uttishtati, Uttishtanti. Wayne, can you try to say that? Uttishtati?
Puhishtati.
Very good. Uttishtanti.
Puhashtanti.
See the tati and tanti, that's the difference, right? Towards the end. Tati is singular, tanti or ati, anti. This is the difference, right? Pathati, pathanti. Likhati, likhanti. So the ati becomes anti for singular to plural. Let's continue the video.
Bhavan upavishatu. Bhavan upavishati. Bhavantah upavishanti. Bhavantah upavishanti. Bhavati uttishtatu. Bhavati uttishtati. Bhavatyah uttishtanti. Samichinam. Bhavati upavishatu. Bhavati upavishati. Bhavatyah upavishanti. उत्तिष्ठति एकवचनम्, उत्तिष्ठन्ति बहुवचनम्। अहम् एकवचनं वदामि, भवन्तः बहुवचनं वदन्तु। अभ्यासं कुर्मः। अस्तु? उत्तिष्ठति,
उत्तिष्ठन्ति,
उपविशति,
उपविशन्ति,
हसति,
हसन्ति,
पठति,
पठन्ति,
लिखति,
लिखन्ति।
ये सब लट लकार प्रथम पुरुष एक वचन और बहुवचन के रूप हैं। यहाँ हम ध्यान पूर्वक उच्चारण के भेदों को सुनेंगे, जैसे कि गच्छति, गच्छन्ति, पठति, पठन्ति। इस प्रकार रूप परिवर्तन होगा।
उपविशतु, उपविशन्तु। प्रार्थना। अहम् एकं वाक्यं वदामि, भवन्तः बहुवचनं वदन्तु। अभ्यासं कुर्मः। पुनरेकम् अभ्यासं कुर्मः। वदतु,
वदन्तु,
गायतु,
गायन्तु,
नृत्यतु,
नृत्यन्तु।
अहम् उपविशामि, अहम् उत्तिष्ठामि, वयम् उत्तिष्ठामः,
वयम् उत्तिष्ठामः,
भवन्तः उपविशन्तु,
वयम् उपविशामः।
अभ्यासं कुर्मः। अहम् गच्छामि,
वयम् गच्छामः,
अहम् पठामि,
वयम् पठामः,
अहम् लिखामि,
वयम् लिखामः,
अहम् हसामि,
वयम् हसामः।
ये लट लकार उत्तम पुरुष एक वचन और बहुवचन के रूप हैं। अब हम इन रूपों का एक बार अभ्यास देखेंगे।
भवान् गच्छति, भवन्तः गच्छन्ति, भवती गच्छति, भवत्यः गच्छन्ति। इदानीम् अहं दर्शयामि, भवन्तः वदन्तु।
भवान् गच्छति, भवन्तः गच्छन्ति, भवती गच्छति, भवत्यः गच्छन्ति, सः गच्छति, ते गच्छन्ति, एषः गच्छति, एते गच्छन्ति।
So you're seeing the different types of pronouns getting linked with the appropriate version of the verb. Bhavan is addressing a male with respect, like someone who is elder, someone who is an important person, like that. Bhavan gacchati. You with respect, okay? Think of it as a you in bold. You are going. The same thing if you were to say without or with minimal respect or to a friend, you would say tvam gacchati, right? Tvam gacchati. He is going, tvam gacchasi. He is going, saha gacchati. They are going, te gacchanti. Plural form of saha. Same way, eshah, this person is going, eshah gacchati. These persons are going, all male, ete gacchanti. Sa gacchati, this lady is going. Sa gacchati, that lady is going. Taha gacchanti, those ladies are going. Esha gacchati, this lady is going. Etaha gacchanti, these ladies are going, etc.
समीचीनम् उत्तमम् तिष्ठतु अहं गच्छामि वयं गच्छामः अहं गच्छामि वयं गच्छामः इदानीं पुनः एकम् अभ्यासं कुर्मः भवान् गच्छतु भवन्तः गच्छन्तु
भवान् गच्छतु भवन्तः गच्छन्तु भवती गच्छतु भवत्याः गच्छन्तु सः गच्छतु ते गच्छन्तु एषः गच्छतु एते गच्छन्तु कः गच्छतु के गच्छन्तु सा गच्छतु ताः गच्छन्तु एषः गच्छतु एताः गच्छन्तु कः गच्छतु कः गच्छन्तु
समीचीनम् उत्तमम् पुस्तकम् अस्ति पुस्तकम् अस्ति पुस्तकानि सन्ति एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि चत्वारि पुस्तकानि सन्ति अत्र कति पुस्तकानि सन्ति
चत्वारि पुस्तकानि
Kati is how many. Kati means how many. Kati pustakani santi, how many books are there? Chatvari pustakani santi, 4 books are there. Kati pustakani santi, chatvari pustakani santi. So, ekam, dve, त्रीणि चत्वारि एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि Can somebody count up to 4? Please raise your hand.
Please. Who wants to count up to 4? Any one of you? Sumeshji, go ahead please.
सर 1 से लेकर 4 तक संस्कृत में
हाँ जी
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि
वेरी गुड एकम पुस्तकम अस्ति द्वौ पुस्तकौ स्तः त्रीणि पुस्तकानि सन्ति चत्वारि पुस्तकानि सन्ति etc. Right? Let's go further.
समीचीनम् हरीश गणयतु
एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि
पंच गणयतु means count. Ganayatu, count. एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच पंच. Can somebody say that? Pancha. Who would like to count up to 5? Ekam, dve, त्रीणि, चत्वारि, पंच.
त्रीणि, चत्वारि, पंच, षट्.
Induji, go ahead.
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच.
सत्यपाल जी फिर से कहिए. Go ahead, सत्यपाल जी.
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच.
समीचीनम्.
कति अंकानि सन्ति?
पंच अंकानि सन्ति.
पंच अंक. समीचीनम्. भवती वदतु.
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच षट्.
कति पर्णानि सन्ति?
षट् पर्णानि सन्ति.
उत्तमम्. एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच षट् सप्त अष्ट. कति चमसाः सन्ति?
8 चमसाः सन्ति.
समीचीनम्.
कः गणयति? 8 पर्यन्तं गणयतु. एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच षड् सप्त अष्ट. कः गणयति?
Count. Who wants to count? Sumesh ji. Go ahead.
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच सप्त अष्ट.
Shad. You miss 6, right?
Yes.
अन्य कः गणयति?
Induji, please go ahead. And then Satyapal ji.
एकम.
Induji first, then Satyapal ji. Induji, go. Go ahead.
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंचम षट् सप्तम अष्ट.
Very good. Not okay. It should be only sapta, ashta, pancha, like that. Okay.
एकम द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच षट् सप्त अष्ट.
Very good. Anya kaha ganayati? Anybody else would try? Anybody new?
Anybody new who newly joined? Would you like to try 1 to 8? Probably not, sir.
Okay, let me continue.
अत्र कति बालकाः सन्ति? प्रकाशः गणयतु.
एकं द्वे त्रीणि चत्वारि पंच षड् सप्त अष्ट नव. 9 छात्राः सन्ति.
पाण्डवाः कति जनाः? कौरवाः कति जनाः? वर्षे कति मासाः सन्ति? उत्तमम्. मासे कति दिनानि सन्ति? पक्षे कति दिनानि सन्ति? अहम् उत्तरं वदामि. भवन्तः प्रश्नं पृच्छन्तु. उदाहरणं वदामि. अत्र 30 जनाः सन्ति. अत्र कति जनाः सन्ति इति भवन्तः पृच्छन्तु. अत्र 30 जनाः सन्ति. 30 चित्राणि सन्ति.
30 means 30. 30. दश विंशतिः 30. Can you say that? 30. Who would like to say that? 30. Okay, I'm going to ask one of you, let us say, Sirvol Surya. Okay, be a volunteer. Repeat after me. Okay, Sirvolji. Repeat after me. Okay, Dasha.
Dasha.
Vinshatihi. Repeat. Vinshatihi. All right. Who else would like to be a volunteer to repeat after me? Satyapalji. Dasha.
Dasha.
10. Vinshatihi.
Vinshatihi.
20. Trimshat.
Trinshat.
30.
30.
Chatvarishat.
Chatvarishat.
Chatvarimshat.
Chatvarishat.
40. Panchashat. 50.
Panchashat.
So let us go up to 50 again. Dasha. Vimshatihi.
Vinshati. Trinshati.
Trimshat. Trimshat.
Trinshat. Chatvar.
Rinshat.
Chatvarishat.
Panchashat.
Panchashat. Shat.
Shashtihi.
Shashti.
Saptatihi.
Saptahi.
Saptatihi.
Saptati.
Ashitihi.
Ashiti.
Navatihi.
Navatihi.
Shata.
Shatah.
100. Right? So, Dasha.
Dasha.
Vimshatihi.
Vinshati.
Trimshat.
Chaturshat.
Chatvarimshat.
Chatvarishat.
Panchashat.
Panchatat.
Panchashat.
Panchashat.
Sashtihi.
Shashtihi. Why is it different?
It just changes from there.
Okay.
From there it changes to Sashtihi, Saptatihi, Ashitihi, like that.
Shashtihi, Saptatihi, Ashtihi,
Ashitihi.
Ashiti.
He.
Ashiti for ta or ta?
Yes. Ti for ta.
Ta. Okay. Ashiti.
Ashiti. Navatihi.
Navatihi.
Shata.
Shata.
Anya kaha vadati. Mam anusmaranam karoti. Who will follow me?
Want to try? Who else want to try to say 10, 20, 30 as sir has said? Anyone? Give a try.
Pranayaji, you and I try once.
Yes, I'll do so.
Dasha.
Dasha.
Vimshatihi.
Vimshatihi.
Trimshat.
Trimshat.
Chatvarimshat.
Chatvarimshat.
Panchashat.
Panchashat.
Sashtihi.
Sashtihi.
Saptatihi.
Saptatihi.
Ashitihi.
Asitihi.
Navatihi.
Navatihi.
Shata.
Shata.
Very good. Now let us do from 11 to 20. Okay.
Okay.
So first let us do 1 to 10. Satyapal ji has raised his hand. Let us go to him once.
Yeah, Satyapal ji, would you like to ask anything or would you like to 1 to 10 you want to say?
Eka. Dve. Trini. Chatvari. Pancha. Shata. Sapta. Ashta. Nava. Dasha.
Bravo, Satyapal ji, very good.
Excellent.
Ekadash.
Dvadasha. Dvadasha.
Trayodash.
Trayodasha, 13.
Chaturdash.
Very good, 14.
Panchadash.
Very good, 15.
Shodash.
16. Shodashaha, like that.
Shodashaha. Saptadasha. Ashtadasha. Navadasha.
Vimshatihi.
Vinshati.
Very good.
Vinshati.
So now this way we can continue, right? Eko vinshatihi, 21.
Ekau vinshati.
Dva vinshatihi, 22.
Dva vinshatihi.
Right? Trayo vimshatihi, 23.
Trayo vinshati.
What will be 24? Chatur?
Chatur vinshati.
Very good. Pancha vimshatihi, 25.
Pancha vinshatihi.
So at least 1 to 12 we must know. Why? Because that's how we can tell time, right? Ekavadana samayaha, 1 o'clock. Dvivadana samayaha, 2 o'clock. Who will say this? Please raise your hand. Up to 12. Can somebody try?
Yeah, Sumesh, you will try. Okay, go ahead.
एकवादन समयः, द्विवादन समयः, त्रिवादन समयः, चतुर्वादन समयः, पंचवादन समयः, षट्वादन समयः, सप्तवादन समयः, अष्टवादन समयः, नववादन समयः, दशवादन समयः, एकादशवादन समयः, द्वादशवादन समयः.
Excellent. Satyapal ji, can you try?
Ekavadan samaya. Dvivadan. Dvi or dve?
Dvivadana.
Dvivadan samaya. Trivadan samaya. Chaturvadan samaya. Panchavadan samaya. Shatavadan samaya. Saptavadan samaya. Ashtavadan samaya. Navavadan samaya. Dashavadam samaya. Ekadashvadan samaya. Dwadashvadan samaya.
Excellent. Janak ji, would you like to volunteer? You can repeat after me.
Janak ji, please repeat.
Ekavadana samayaha. Unmute. Yeah. Now speak. Ekavadana samayaha.
Janak ji, speak please. Ekavadana samayaha. Just you have to repeat what sir is saying.
Let us see if
Wayne Ji will do.
Yeah. Okay. Ekavadana samayaha.
What are we counting? What
So
numbers?
we are saying the time like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, all the way up to 12 o'clock. Okay. To say o'clock, we use the phrase vadana samayaha. Can you say that? Vadana samaya.
Vada samayaha.
Vadana samayaha.
Samayaha.
Vadana samayaha.
Varima samayaha.
So 1 o'clock would be eka vadana samayaha.
Eka varam samayaha.
Very good. 2 o'clock would be dvi vadana samayaha.
Dvi vekam samayaha.
Vadana. Can you say that? Vadana.
Vadana.
Very good. That's what we're saying. Vadana samayah.
Vada samayah.
Tri vadana samayah.
Three vada samayah.
Chatur vadana samayah. Chatur. Say chatur.
Four is
Chatur. 4 is chatur.
Chatwari.
Very good. Vadana samayah.
Chatwari satamaya.
Very good. So, Lekha ji, would you like to try? Lekha Kaushal ji, would you like to try?
Unmute yourself, please. I'm unmuting, but he is not getting.
Okay. So, one thing I wanted to say is that if you do not participate, it will not be possible to learn, right? So try to participate. Okay, let me play the video, okay?
त्रिंशत् दंताः सन्ति। समीचीनम्।
अब आप लोग जान गए होंगे कि संस्कृत में कति शब्द का अर्थ कितना है।
एषः दण्डः, एषः हस्तः, दण्डः हस्तः, दण्डः हस्ते अस्ति, दण्डः हस्ते अस्ति, दण्डः कुत्र अस्ति? समीचीनम्।
दण्डः,
एषः आसन्दः,
दण्डः हस्ते. If you hear the sound A, it represents in. Haste, in the hand. Asande, on the chair. Right? In or on is represented by A sound.
एषः कः? आसन्दः। दण्डः कुत्र अस्ति? उत्तमम्। एषः स्यूतः, एषः स्यूतः। कूपी, कूपी कुत्र अस्ति? उत्तमम्, समीचीनम्। एतत् किम्? धनम्। एषः कोशः, एषः कोशः। धनं कुत्र अस्ति? समीचीनम्। वार्ता पत्रिकायाम् अस्ति, वार्ता पत्रिकायाम् अस्ति। वार्ता कुत्र अस्ति? समीचीनम्। स्थालिका। फलं कुत्र अस्ति? जलं कूप्याम् अस्ति, जलं कूप्याम् अस्ति। जलं कुत्र अस्ति? उत्तमम्। अंगुलीयकम्, अंगुलीयकम्, अंगुलीयकम् अंगुल्याम् अस्ति, अंगुल्याम् अस्ति। अंगुलीयकं कुत्र अस्ति?
हस्ते, आसन्दे, स्यूते, कोशे, पत्रिकायाम, स्थालिकायाम, कूप्याम, ये सब सप्तमी विभक्ति के रूप हैं जिनका अर्थ है आधार या अधिकरण, जैसे कि हाथों में, कुर्सी पर, पत्रिका में। इन अर्थों में सप्तमी विभक्ति का रूप है।
इदानीम् एकम् अभ्यासं कुर्मः। अहं पत्रं दर्शयामि। वृक्षः वृक्षे, वृक्षः। इदानीं वदन्तु। आपणः पुनः वदन्तु। हिमालयः विद्यालयः मार्गः आसन्दः
नगरे मंदिरे स्थालिकायां
स्थालिकायां
स्थालिकायां संचिकायां पेटिकायां कूप्यां
पुनः वदन्तु कूप्यां
घट्यां अंकन्यां
लेखनी
लेखन्यां
समीचीनम् उत्तमम् इदानीं पुनः एकम् अभ्यासं कुर्मः स्यूतः पुस्तकम् अस्ति पश्यन्तु वाक्यं वदामि स्यूते पुस्तकम् अस्ति
So Syutah is a bag. Pustakam is a book. Asti is. So we want to say the book is in the bag. So in what? In the bag. So that verb takes the A form. Syutah, syute. What is in the bag? Pustakam. Pustakam, syute, asti. In the same way, all the other words are given. Let's take a look at that.
वदन्तु
स्यूते पुस्तकम् अस्ति ग्रामे गृहम् अस्ति.
So Gramaha is a village. Griham is a home. Asti is. So where is the home? Grame. It is in the village. So Grame Griham Asti. So now Vatika is a garden. But as you see, this Vatika is ending in Akarant. It is ending in A, the long A sound, right? Vowel sound. And that is a feminine form. So the same idea of in for a feminine form will become yam instead of a. So Vatikayam. Kimasti? Vatikayam. Phalamasti. In the garden, there are fruits. Vatikayam phalam asti.
शालायां शिक्षकः अस्ति लेखन्यां मधी अस्ति नद्यां मीनः अस्ति.
समीचीनम् इदानीम् अहं शब्दद्वयं वदामि भवन्तः मिलित्वा वदन्तु योजयित्वा वदन्तु लख्नौ उत्तरप्रदेशः वदन्तु
उत्तरप्रदेशे अस्ति
पुनः वदन्तु
उत्तरप्रदेशे अस्ति
भोपाल मध्यप्रदेशः
भोपाल मध्यप्रदेशे अस्ति
मुम्बई महाराष्ट्रम्
मुम्बई महाराष्ट्रे अस्ति
मैसूरु कर्णाटक
मैसूरु कर्णाटके अस्ति.
बहु समीचीनं बहु उत्तमम् इदानीं भवन्तः एकैकं वाक्यं कथयन्ति वा समीचीनं कः वदति आरम्भे ओहो भवान् वदतु
लेखनी आपणे अस्ति
उत्तमम्
शिक्षकः विद्यालये अस्ति
समीचीनं
So we are seeing applications of the in on with a noun, right? The noun may be masculine or feminine. If the noun in which something is there or on which something is there, then you hear the A sound like syute, haste, asande, grame, nagare, grihe, like that. And if that noun is feminine form like ending in vatikayam, shalayam, shala means school, shalayam, Then you see the nadyam inside the river, right? Meenaha nadyam asti. The fish is in the river. So like this, you will see lots of examples, and all the students are giving different examples here.
फलं वृक्षे अस्ति
उत्तमं
गृहिणी गृहे अस्ति
समीचीनं
देवालयः ग्रामे अस्ति
भवतु वदतु
दन्ताः मुखे सन्ति
एकम् अभ्यासं कुर्मः मम गृहं भारतदेशे अस्ति इति वदामि भवन्तः भारतदेशे कुत्र अस्ति इति पृच्छन्तु पृच्छतु
भवतः गृहं कुत्र अस्ति
मम गृहं भारतदेशे अस्ति भारतदेशे कर्णाटक प्रदेशे अस्ति कर्णाटक प्रदेशे बेंगलुरु नगरे अस्ति बेंगलुरु नगरे विद्यारण्यपुरे अस्ति विद्यारण्यपुरे पंचम मुख्य मार्गे अस्ति
So is going from whole to part. Where is your home? My home is in India. Where in India is your home? My home is in Bangalore. Where in Bangalore is my home? My home is in Vidyaranyapur, within Bangalore. And so each time he's using that next subset as Vidyaranyapure, Bangalore Nagare, Bharatavarshe, and then he's going to the specific street, main street, Mukhya Marge Asti, and so on. So that's how he is telescoping down all the way to his home.
पंचम मुख्य मार्गे दशम उपमार्गे अस्ति दशम उपमार्गे तृतीय भवने अस्ति तत्रैव अस्ति
अब हम एक दृश्य देखेंगे जिसके संभाषण में सप्तमी विभक्ति का रूप है।
भगिनी सारानाथः कुत्र अस्ति सारानाथः बिहारे अस्ति
Saranatah kutra asti. Where is Sarnath? And the answer given by the other girl is Saranatah Bihare asti.
अस्ति सत्यं वा पश्यामि न उत्तरप्रदेशे।
So she made a mistake. She says, no, it is in Uttar Pradesh. So the other girl says, can you check please? And she checks. And then she says, oh, I made a mistake. Uttar Pradeshe asti.
Aho, Uttar Pradesh.
अहम पंचवादने उत्तिष्ठामि भवान कदा उत्तिष्ठति
अहम पंचवादने
See, 5 o'clock. Panchavadane. When do you wake up? I wake up at 5 o'clock. So for in, on, or at, this A sound comes, right? For masculine gender. Vadanaha is a masculine gender noun. So it becomes Vadane. So it is the 7th case that the noun can take. It's called the Saptami Vibhakti.
Vijay sir.
Yes.
Both are correct, right? Vanchavadane or Panchavadana Samaye. Both will be correct, right?
Both will be correct. Only thing is, at 5 o'clock, at the time of 5 o'clock, something like that, right? Correct. So where you give the emphasis, it goes there. But both are correct.
Thank you.
भवान कदा दंतधावनं करोति अहम सार्धसप्तवादने दंतधावनं करोमि वदतु
अहम सार्धसप्तवादने दन्तधावनं करोमि
भवान कदा योगासनं करोति
अहम अष्टवादने योगासनं करोमि
भवान कदा विद्यालयं गच्छति?
अहम् 8 विद्यालयं गच्छामि।
भवती कदा विद्यालयं गच्छति?
अहं 9 विद्यालयं गच्छामि।
समीचीनं। भवती कदा पूजां करोति?
अहं 7 पूजां करोमि।
इदानीं कदा इति शब्दम् उपयुज्य प्रश्नं पृच्छन्तु। अहम् उत्तरं वदामि। प्रकाशः पृच्छतु।
भवान् कदा पूजां करोति?
अहं 5 वादने पूजां करोमि। पृच्छतु।
भवान् कदा क्रीडति?
अहं न क्रीडामि।
भवान् कदा उत्तिष्ठति?
अहं 4 वादने उत्तिष्ठामि।
भवान् कदा उपहारं स्वीकरोति?
अहं 7 वादने उपहारं स्वीकरोमि।
भवान् कदा महाविद्यालयं गच्छति?
अहं 8 वादने विद्यालयं गच्छामि।
भवान् कदा योगासनं करोति?
अहं 5:30 वादने योगासनं करोमि।
अब आप समझ गए होंगे कि कब शब्द के लिए कदा का प्रयोग किया जाता है। अब आप लोग इसके बारे में एक अभ्यास देखें।
गोपालः इति एकः बालकः अस्ति। गोपालस्य दिनचरी अत्र अस्ति। इदानीं
So Gopal is an individual whose daily routine is displayed in the chart. So he wakes up at 6 o'clock. Shadvadane uttishtati. Then what does he do? Then what does he do? So at that vadane, at that time, right? He does different things. So let's pay attention to see what is being done.
अहं चित्रं दर्शयामि, भवन्तः वाक्यं वदन्तु। अस्तु वा?
षड्वादने उत्तिष्ठति।
हाँ, वदतु।
गोपालः षड्वादने उत्तिष्ठति।
समीचीनं।
गोपालः सपादषड्वादने दन्तधावनं करोति।
Sapada means quarter past. Sapada shadvadane danta dhavanam karoti. Danta dhavanam, toothbrush, right? Brushing the teeth. Danta dhavanam karoti. And so on and so on. Let's see what goes on next.
उत्तमम्।
गोपालः सार्धषड्वादने प्राणायामं करोति।
वदतु, पुनः वदन्तु।
गोपालः सार्धषड्वादने योगासनं करोति।
समीचीनं।
गोपालः पादोनसप्तवादने स्नानं करोति।
नाम पादोन 8 वादनं। वदन्तु इदानीं।
So padona is 1:45. Obviously, you will have to say the number that comes ahead, right? 7:45 is 7:45. So you would say padona ashtavadanam. Padona ashtavadane, whatever he does, right? Snanam karoti ityadi.
पूर्णवाक्यं वदन्तु। उत्तमं, समीचीनं। इदानीम् अहं प्रश्नं पृच्छामि, वदन्तु। गोपालः किं करोति? वदतु।
गोपालः सार्धषड्वादने योगाभ्यासं करोति।
उत्तमं। भवान् वदतु, किं करोति?
गोपालः 8:30 अल्पाहारं स्वीकरोति।
अल्पाहारं स्वीकरोति। पुनः वदतु।
गोपालः 8:30 अल्पाहारं स्वीकरोति।
समीचीनं। भवान् वदतु।
गोपालः 9:00 शालां
गच्छति।
गच्छति।
पुनः वदतु।
गोपालः 9:00 शालां गच्छति।
उत्तमं, समीचीनम्। इदानीं वयं एकं सुभाषितं शृणुमः।
इदानीं नववादनसमयः केन्द्रीयसमय अनुसारे तन्नाम एतद् भागवद्गीता पाठनसमयः। अद्यतनपाठः अत्रैव समाप्तः। पुनः आगामि सोमवासरे 8:00 मिलामः। तदनन्तरं मङ्गलं भूयात्। नमो नमः।
नमो नमः।
नमो नमः। धन्यवाद प्रणय जी, विजय जी, राधे राधे। Good morning, good evening to all of you. Radhe Radhe. Welcome to another exciting session of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Over to you, Nitin ji.
Thank you, Sandhya. Radhe Radhe, everyone, and thank you, Vijay ji, for a wonderful Sanskrit lessons like you always do. Dallas sir, Texas say, Asti.
Samichinam.
Samichinam?
Samichinam.
All right, I passed the test today as well.
You're doing great. Dhanyawada.
Dhanyawada. Nadya Meenah Asti.
Yes, exactly. Very good.
Okay, so very warm welcome to all of you. Welcome to Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. Today the time has changed. So I know it's 8:30 India time. Hope it works for most of you, if not all of you. And we are getting 1 extra hour to sleep. It subsides away after a couple of days, but I'm trying to make the most of it while it lasts. A very warm welcome. Good morning, good evening to all of you. We will get started with our opening prayers, and we are discussing anger. And we will go deeper into that shloka today and talk about what our scriptures in Bhagavad Gita are telling us if we continue to befriend this emotion, or if we continue to ride this emotion, is what we are going to talk about today. So let me share my screen and we will get started with our opening prayers. To share my screen, share sound. Right. Are you able to see my screen? Great. Okay, we'll get started with our opening prayers. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. All right, good morning, good evening. Once again, a very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So let's get started. This is the shloka that we are doing. You're welcome to follow along. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshad buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati. All right, let's take in hands.
Radhe Radhe Sam ji.
Radhe Radhe. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinasho, buddhinashat pranashyati.
Very nice,
Radhe
thank
Radhe.
you. Radhe Radhe.
Meena ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhranshat buddhinasho, बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। राधे राधे।
Wonderful. Very nice, Meenaji. Radhe Radhe.
Dinesh ji. Radhe Radhe.
Dinesh
Please
ji.
go ahead.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिविनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। राधे राधे।
Very nice. Thank you, Dinesh ji. Radhe Radhe.
Uday Kumar ji. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। राधे राधे।
Nice. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Shri Ramya ji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Shri Ramya.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। Thank you.
Wonderful. Very nice. Thank you, Shri Ramya. All right. Let's take the remaining hands as well.
Shyam ji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Shyam ji.
Radhe Radhe. क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति। राधे
Very nice. Thank you, Shyam ji.
Sam ji. Radhe Radhe. Please go
Radhe
ahead.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Bhakti sammoha sammohat smriti vibram samriti darshad buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. Very nice, Sam ji. Radhe Radhe. Let's take the remaining 2 or 3 hands that we have.
Yes, Riya ji. Radhe Radhe. Please
Radhe
go
Radhe.
ahead.
राधे राधे।
Radhe Radhe.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति।
Very nice, Riya ji. Radhe Radhe.
Aparna ji. Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Aparna ji.
Oops. Yes, please.
Are you able to unmute yourself? I think you're already unmuted.
Yes, yeah, Radhe Radhe.
Radhe
Sorry
Radhe.
for that. Krodhat bhavati sammohah sammohat smriti vibhramah smriti vranshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati.
Very nice, Aparna ji. Radhe Radhe.
I'll also go ahead.
Go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Krodhat bhavati sammoha sammohat smriti vibhramaha smriti bhranshat buddhinasho buddhinashat pranashyati.
Wonderful. Very nice. All right. So let's get started. So Lord Krishna is explaining the mechanics of unfoldment of anger, which happens pretty quickly, but then there is a sequence of steps that happen during that process, and that is what he's beautifully explaining here. So what Lord Krishna is saying in the shloka is, anger leads to clouding of judgment, which results in bewilderment of the memory, and when the memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when the intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. So anger is a stepping stone or paves the way for ruin. It could be an immediate ruin, it could be a delayed ruin, and regardless, it is an immediate ruin with regards to our spiritual progress. That's what we are going to continue to discuss. So let's move and get into the topic of our discussion today. So, just as the morning mist, you've seen the morning mist? If you go to Shimla in winters, you'll understand the fog is there as well. Right? In northern India, there's a lot of fog in a particular season. So it's just like that fog, which basically impairs our ability to see. Right? In northern India, it's called a killer dhund, where so many accidents happen. Why do accidents happen in this kind of a thing? Because your sight or the sense of sight is impaired. You're not able to see clearly. So it says that just as the morning mist creates a hazy covering on the sunlight, similar to that, anger impairs our judgment. And what is the judgment? Judgment is discrimination between right and wrong. Ability to see what is good, what is bad, what is right, what is wrong, what is appropriate, what is not appropriate. All that ability is lost when we get angry. And intellect is clouded. So your intellect is also clouded with a haze like this. And because of it, your mind also is not able to think clearly, like driving in a mist. And people forget who they are talking to, whether that person is elder or anything that person might have done in the past. You just lose that context completely. All you want to do is vent anger at that point in time. And this is the process that unfolds. Anger leads to bewilderment of memory, destruction of the intellect, and one gets ruined. This is the cycle that Lord Krishna has explained. So let's go further now and look at this concept employ some more lenses to this whole conversation. So let's start with a story here. Here's a school. The kids, they study in the school, okay? Now we're going to conduct an experiment on these kids. In Japan, actually, this experiment was conducted. What was the experiment? That the kids were asked to count on fingers the number of students whom they did not like in the class. Right? Some kid came up with 2 kids, somebody came up with 4, somebody came up with 7. Then what happens? Then the teacher says, based on the number of kids that you don't like or you have an aversion towards, let's do an experiment. They said, all right. They were asked to boil some potatoes, put it in a plastic bag. Okay. And they were asked to carry the number of potatoes equal to the number of people they did not like, and said that you need to start carrying those potatoes with you now. Take it home, bring it back, take it to wherever you go. Okay, so wherever you go, even if you go to restroom, take it along with you and bring it. Now, 3-4 days passed. These kids were very tired carrying those potatoes. Now, children who had 1 potato was relatively better than the other ones. Just imagine the state of kids who were carrying 6, 7, maybe 8, 9, 10 potatoes. And finally, on 5th day, they said, ma'am, we cannot carry these anymore. Can we just leave it? It's becoming a burden. Now, teacher said that just like becoming a burden physically, when you carry wrong feelings, attitudes, bitterness, resentment, hurt, they become mental burdens. So it's just like carrying these potatoes and stale potatoes over time. So this is an experiment conducted to show what it is like carrying bitterness, resentment towards people. And more you have in your life, the more disfavor you are doing to yourself, because you are carrying that burden for no reason. And this activity could be carried out by everybody now. You could do a silent activity to see how many people you can count in your fingers to see you have resentment against this person because of this reason. I don't like that. And if you continue to carry that or replaying that thought, it is just like carrying these potatoes. So this hopefully helps put a little bit of it in perspective. So when we become upset with somebody or we are angry, it's like you're increasing the burden. Maybe a sack of potatoes instead of 1 potato is what you're carrying at that point. Anyways, let's move on. Now this is our gross body, right? And this is our true identity, which is I, me. And these are our senses, the interface with the world. Senses are governed by our mind, and mind is governed by our intellect. Now, these three soldiers, anger, greed, and lust. Okay, you see them? They look mean and they mean business. Okay. Now, the armor is needed to fight them. There's an armor that is needed. Your intellect needs an armor. It cannot fight them. And that armor is that of scriptural knowledge. Only if you arm yourself or protect it or build resilience, then you will be able to fight it, neutralize it, or be able to cope with it, in a manner that you are not letting them work towards the detriment of your own spiritual journey or make you upset. So this armor is what we are trying to build. Reading Bhagavad Gita, acquiring spiritual knowledge, investing time in kirtans, bhajans, knowledge, contemplation, satsang, seva, all of it is an activity to develop this armor. And if this armor is weak, or if we don't have this armor, we are exposing ourselves big time. Not just exposing, overexposing ourselves to this world or to these three mean people. Okay. So hope you can appreciate why we are reading this. What is the significance of reading Bhagavad Gita or investing time in spiritual, scriptural understanding? Just building an armor. And over time, we need to build an armor to a point or to a width that it becomes impregnable. Impregnable means nothing can go inside it. So that is the whole purpose of spirituality. Continue to invest to build that armor. Armor might be shaky to begin with, but at least you've started building some resilience. So that is the whole objective. Let's move on. Now, these three dudes, what else do they do? So let's say our armor is not so strong, or we don't choose to build this armor. Or we say it's okay. Being human is being all of these three. Okay? I am choosing to ride these emotions because I deserve to vent these out. Because if I do not do it, I will be deprived of the dopamine kick. And if I am deprived of the dopamine kick, I'll not be happy. Let's say we do that. Then what happens? Okay, we haven't built the armor and we choose to ride these. So these enemies, what will they do? Let's look at it. They are going to roll out a red carpet for us. You've seen rolling out of a red carpet in Cannes festival. They roll out a festival, red carpet for all the celebrities. And who's going to walk on that red carpet really establishes your status as a celebrity. Deepika Padukone is being invited to Cannes, and then Aishwarya Rai used to go there, and Jennifer Aniston, a lot of celebrities, they go there. But these enemies, they roll out a carpet for us as well. It's like, all right, be our guest. Roll our red carpet out to where is what we'll look at. Okay, these three doors to hell. He said, welcome. You choose to ride these three doorkeepers are waiting for you to hell. That is what our scriptures tell us. Okay? Now, if you don't believe it, okay, you don't have to take my word on it, okay, just because I'm telling you. Let's look at it a little more deeply, maybe in the next slide. So anyway, this I found pretty interesting. A moment of patience in a moment of anger saves you 100 moments of regret. It's a very interesting quote, right? We would have seen it from our experience. Foot in the mouth syndrome, or so many times in anger when we become a fizz bottle, let it out, and after that, you feel excessive guilt part of it. So moment of patience in a moment of anger saves you 100 moments of regret. By the way, we will not get into the tools today, but look out for these discussions over the next couple of days where we get into some very prescriptive tools around how to handle anger and employ some of those tips and tricks in our lives as well and see how it works. Nevertheless, so you understood, right? These three, lust, anger, greed, they are, preparing a red carpet for us. And it's a sure shot, fastest, smartest, and probably not the coolest way to go to hell. And let's take some scriptural reference for it, if you don't believe me on this. Where does anger take us? Which is one of those Bhagavad Gita only, I think it's this says, I think 721 or 121, Trividham narakasyedam dwaram nashnamaatmana kama krodha tatha lobha tasmadetattrayam tyajet. So basically saying Kam, Krodha, and these three things are going to take us to these three doors to hell. If we continue to ride these emotions or continue to not systematically dismantle these emotions from our head. Okay, it's a sure shot way to go to hell. And if you want to remember it easily, these are called, they are like, what do you call that? Those pests or demark which your spiritual earnings, and they are very detrimental for our soul. Lust, anger, and greed. And these three have to be systematically tackled. If we don't tackle it, it's not good for us, for our journey. So if you want to remember it, you can remember it. Sublimate GAD to attain God. GAD is greed, anger, and desire. And sublimation means dovetail it towards God. Okay, instead of your material desires, start dovetailing it towards God, and that is the whole purpose of sadhana. Sadhana is essentially, you look at that and then you start channelizing it towards God. And when you start progressing spiritually, you feel an OCD, obsessive compulsive desire to talk about God, to hear more about God, to talk about His Leelas. Right? This kind of things start happening, to attend a satsang, to listen to that beautiful bhajan that, took you to another realm altogether. That is a desire you are forming. More of greed, right? And anger would come at yourself that, what, I've been investing time in spirituality for so many years and still I get upset. Anger on your anger. So sublimate GAD to get closer to God is the key concept here. Okay. Hope it makes sense. Now let's move on. But these gatekeepers, as you see, right, they just don't look nice. If you don't systematically work on it, see, we are not going to wake up as saints one fine day. It's not a unit step function. And at the same time, we should not get disheartened and say, oh, now we are going to become saint, so let's not do anything about it at all. What it means is we start taking those small steps. And then with God's grace, the magic will start unfolding after a while. Right? God checks our intent, our intensity around how much we are sincere about our spiritual growth, and He's waiting to embrace us regardless. Right? He's waiting to embrace us. It's like, help me, help you. Help me, help you. So, again, just for a recap, these three dudes we need to fight with an armor. The armor is that of scriptural knowledge, and the endeavor that we are making right now to read Bhagavad Gita is part of that process. Right? We are trying to build an armor. If we don't build an armor, what our scriptures tell us that, I need to go forward, that these three people would roll out a red carpet for us, like they roll out in a Cannes Film Festival. For the celebrities, they will take you to the three doors of hell. Right? Bhagavad Gita confirms it. It says these are the three doors to hell if you don't tackle these three emotions systematically, properly. And it's important to sublimate GAD to attain God. Greed, anger, and desire have to be worked on and needs to be dovetailed or channelized towards God. Right? People who are there, who come in contact with saints or pure souls, right? Like Swamiji, they have a desire to meet him more. They almost feel a compulsion to be around him. That is a good desire, right? It's a good desire actually. And you desire to meet him more. You desire to be around him. And anger can also be dovetailed, like I said, right? Anger could be on your own anger. That how come, despite being on this path for so long, I am still struggling to control my anger. Even the slight trigger lights me up. That should not be the case. So these three are told to be the, we need to be very cautious of it and systematically work on it. Like I said, it's not going to be a unit step function. It is going to be a journey. And the way journey goes is where you make a resolve. Okay, these were the occasions where I could have behaved better, or I could have taken a different perspective to counter my urge or an impulse to get upset or angry at somebody and get that dopamine kick. Okay, we need to really retrospect on that. Otherwise, change will happen only when you observe it or take a resolve around it when you go to that. So let's move on. This is from a scriptural standpoint. Now, what is your source of knowledge? Okay, it's very important what we are putting, right? We spoke about. I found it pretty interesting. There is, one is this one, where you have a WhatsApp university and you become Sharanagat to that and keep forwarding it. And second one is a bona fide source, of course, right? So if you're on the left-hand side, where you rely a lot on it and consider it sacrosanct, of course, the game plan has to change. And Bhagavad Gita is the true source of knowledge, because even after 5,000 years, these are time-tested principles. You only have to experience or implement it in your life to realize the benefits out of it. So it's important we are putting our faith on the right knowledge and directly from the source, as opposed to going with, what the whole world is dishing out. It could be self-help books, it could be some things. And these days, what I'm seeing, there's a fad. If somebody has to pass on their own opinion, they will simply put a tag of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita says, Lord Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. A lot of such forwards that come as well, right? So anger can only be systematically dismantled if we align to some of these. Now I'm going to tell you a story here. It's an interesting story. Maybe we can have a little bit of discussion around it. So here's a hut. So there's a guy in this hut, monk rather. So what happened was, there's another guy who came, as you can see, he's come, and he starts knocking on the door and he says, can I get some fire? Okay. And the monk comes, he said, there is no fire here. Okay, so this guy is relentless. He's very persistent. He asks him the same question again, can I get some fire? Monk says, there's no fire. And then he comes through the window, asks the same question, can I get some fire? He said, no, there is no fire. Then he comes through the other window. He said, can I get some fire? He said, there is no fire. Then he starts coming through the back door. He said, can I get some fire? He said, there is no fire. And again, he comes to the front door. He said, can I get some fire? He said, there is no fire. And finally, this time when he again tries the window, this guy opens up the door and says, didn't I tell you there is no fire? Why are you keeping on pestering me like this? Don't you have sense? I'm trying to meditate here and he just gave him left, right and center, nice bashings. Now what happens? This guy said, you know what? I knew you had fire. I've gotten it out now. All along I knew you had fire. See, there is fire. So the point here is, the question that we need to reflect on is, how easy, difficult is it to get the fire inside or ignited? That is a self question. We all have fire inside us. Okay, fire of anger. Now, what is the threshold? Is actually determines the yardstick of our progress around it. The tools, we will get into it maybe tomorrow or day after. But on this concept, anybody has anything that they want to share, basically. I found this story very amusing when I heard it for the first time. And he's a monk and he's calmly doing that, but he also had a fire inside him. Now, how easy or difficult it is to ignite our fire actually tells us how much spiritually we are progressing. Somebody touches you, you get upset, or somebody punches you, then you get upset. Or, it takes a lot of resilience. So there was a guy who comes to Buddha and he said, I'm going to go out to beg for alms. He said, what if people refuse you alms? He said, then I will think then that, at least they haven't abused me. So he said, then what if they start abusing you? He said, then I will think they have at least not hit me. He said, what if they start hitting you? And he said, then I will, think then they have at least not killed me. He said, wow, now you're ready to go and beg alms. Go ahead and do that. So point is, not that we'll become like that monk, but let's have a quick discussion before we go further on this concept. I saw a hand raised. How easy, difficult is it to get the fire insider ignited? Any reflections on that or what we have discussed so far?
And Surender ji has messaged in the chat, ignore the caller, let go is the way.
Let go. Yes, very true. Let go and let go with D as silent. Let go and let God. Great point, Surender ji. Thank you. Yes, Sam ji.
Sam ji. Yeah, Radhe.
In the example that you gave, like even like his anger is justified, isn't it? If someone disturbs us for those many times.
Yeah, just perfectly justified. See, we have to reach a state. We are not going to become saints overnight, right? But what I'm trying to tell here is that we have to acknowledge the fact. See, there was a guy who came to Buddha, right? Again, the same thing. He started abusing him left, right, and center. Okay. And he was okay. And after a while, he became tired. He said, can you give him some food and water? Because seems like he's gotten exhausted. So he needs some more energy. He gave him food and water, again started here. And then he said, what kind of person are you? Are you made up of wood or stone? I've been hurling abuses at you left, right, and center, and you are just quiet, not saying anything at all. So this guy says, if somebody comes and gives you a present, right, and you don't accept it, with whom the present remains. So the point is, we need to basically have a game plan, because it's a riddance or a liberty from our own mind if we are actually conquering this emotion. It's only the word and feelings that hurt us, right? And Swamiji says, if you can start understanding that part, it's not truly hurting your soul as such, and learn to tolerate when needed. Not that you don't show your hiss, right? There's a story of a snake. It hisses, but it does not bite. If it stops hissing also, people will squish it. But inside it, you're not having it. So you may have to put on a face, but if you're feeling a twitch from inside, it's not good for your journey, because you're dirting your whatever spiritual merit that you are acquired around it. You can put on a face. We do that with kids a lot of time.
That means the saintly persons will never have anger in them. The only anger that they have is on intangible, our own intangible.
The saintly people have, there's a difference. Saintly people, the anger is subservient to them. Anger is a slave of saintly people. So they call anger when needed. All right, anger, come. I need to take care of some matters here. We are the slave of anger. Anger calls us. It comes uninvited, right? So that is the difference.
Okay. That
so
means
are we calling the anger, or the anger is calling us, is the question.
Anger is calling us. That means saintly person, when they call anger, they can show on. That means they can exhibit that anger on the people. Okay. Okay.
They put on an act. Okay, just to drive home the point. See, some people, they need to be spoken to loudly. They don't hear, right? That doesn't mean you have to get angry or upset. We have to get to that state, right? That's an ideal state. We all need to get better at that. I mean, I'm myself trying to work on that. But that is the whole thing. Because if we continue to do that, it is not good for us. See, other day I was telling you, we all have that ability, but we underestimate that ability. It's just that this effect of venting out anger is not very evident in front of us. That is why we think it is okay. We can get away with it. But the way it is eating into your spirituality or causing harm to your physiological, emotional, mental, spiritual well-being, if somebody could show it in a picture, this much is gone away, then you will probably not. Tomorrow we'll talk about that concept a little more. Right now, we are not able to understand how much detrimental it is. So we said it's okay to do that, and we justify it. And the other day we were talking about, if somebody tells you every time you get angry, 1 lakh rupees or $10,000 will go away from your account, you will stop getting angry. You will tell your mind, your intellect will say, no, I cannot afford to get angry. It's better to be peaceful and have a good bank balance as opposed to continue to get angry and get out on the road. Right?
You know what, Nitinji? I am at a position, if someone tells that you will lose $10,000 whenever you get angry, I'll get angry on that person until he says you will not lose anything. I'm in that position. I'm in that stage.
Yeah. Samji, you are in a position where I saw two guys, the one guy is telling the other guy, how dare you say I get angry?
Okay.
So sometimes it becomes our obsessive, right? It feels good to get angry, right? So that's the habit we need to break out of, because it's a matter of feeling that we are playing in. It's a very deep concept, but Bhagavad Gita is telling us, so we better listen to Lord Krishna's words, right? If we are serious about progressing spiritually. Otherwise, we know, right? Red carpets, remember those red carpets?
Yeah.
Getting rolled out for us. We don't want to get in there. All right, let's hear. Shyamji, your anger management issues?
Radhe Radhe, Shyamji.
Radhe Radhe, Chinmay. Yes, I do have. And my favorite dialogue is I don't care. I told you earlier also. That's my favorite go-to line. And I feel that we all know that anger is too bad, but still we get angry. I don't know how, but why. And we all get angry as per our convenience, as per our comfort zone. Depending on my situation, my ability, I'll get angry. Whether I would not, as I say, I do not care. The other person is...
You do. Anger always flows top down. Have you gotten angry to your superior, or let's say president comes to your house? Have?
Yes, I had a big job, and the company, I blasted that company. I did not care if the job comes to me or not. This happened to me twice. So I'm saying at times I don't even care if the person is superior to me, inferior to me. I will not just care. I just blast him.
I think then serious anger management. Because there's a movie. Please go check it out.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Because it flows top down, but if you can make it flow bottom up also, then
I'm saying that's the way some people, I will say I am, but it all depends on the circumstance where I am that point of time. I would not, and trust me, my punchline is I don't care. I use it very often, but I know I'm wrong. I'm trying to work on it, maybe, but over the years, as you grow old, I will not say spiritually, but as you grow old in your life, you tend to be mellow down. You tend to be settle down. You might do slow down. I guess that's the way of life. That's the way we all behave, I guess, at a certain point of time. Is that so?
No, I don't know. Some people keep on becoming angrier and angry as they go. I don't know about that. But see, the point here is when your senses start becoming weak, or you start becoming physically weak, that's when you say, I'm going to give up anger. That's anyway happening, right? But when you have power, you can exert power, and that's when you can exercise restraint. That is the test of true power, right? If Spider-Man has so much of ability and he exercises restraint, people will say, wow. But if a lean person is exercising restraint, they'll say, what, wow, he cannot do anything anyways, right? So when we have the choice and the power, and that's when, so it is said, giving up something or renunciation is done from a position of strength, not from a position of weakness. So if you
I would say that it's other way around.
Sorry?
Because I would not say it's weakness. I would say it's more of you gaining knowledge. Maybe it's spiritually or materially. When you think that anger is not going to end any good to you over the period of time, so why to be angry? I would say that the weakness, it's more of understanding your own self, understanding the life around you. Isn't it that so?
True. See, the wisdom is not necessarily proportional to our biological age. So you say, I'm going to become wise only at 60 or 70 or 50, not necessarily. Right? We have a lot of people who can become wise because they understand the deeper secrets and principles around how God has designed this world. So we cannot say only when we grow old, then only my wisdom will increase. Not necessarily. So some people, they acquire it pretty soon. And there are two ways to learn anything. One person is say, okay, wise man says that there is a current in this wire, so I will not touch it. The other person will say, no, I
Let
will
me
touch
see.
it and experience it myself, and that's how I learn it, right? So who is more smarter is up to us to figure it out. So
Got it.
all right, let's take.
And Lataji has a question there. Can I say it?
Sure.
The chat window. Lataji is asking, what about Saint Durvasa?
Saint Durvasa, his seva is to trouble devotees so that God is glorified even further. Okay, so Sage Durvasa, some seva, everybody is picking up a seva in that realm. Okay, so don't go with that. Okay, don't because Durvasa is a pretty interesting character, by the way. But yes, his seva is to trouble the devotees so that the God gets glorified when he comes to protect them and take care of Durvasa. That's how it goes. But for saints, anger is at their disposal. They can call it at will. For us, it's the other way around. We are slave of anger. When it comes, we cannot control it. And we look at the situations, how many people do things that unimaginable things, and then later on they go on to regret that, right? Navjot Singh Sidhu, he killed a guy. I mean, I don't know, he killed it or freaked out that guy who had a heart attack, and then on bail he had to go and play. Brothers have killed their own brothers. Family feuds where people go on to regret it for years, all happens in the rage of anger only. And then I told a story. It's a very important thing. See, anger, how bad this emotion is. When I think Guru Gobind Singh, that story is there, when he was fighting with Muslims, I think the soldier that he was fighting was at his mercy. And just when he was about to kill him, his sword had gone away. This guy spit back at him. When he spit back at him, he was about to kill him, he left him. He left him, so the person who was alongside, he asked him, why did you do that? This guy was fighting you, and just when you could actually kill him, when he spit back at you, why did you leave him? He said, because when he spit back, when I was fighting him as a matter of duty. Right? Even a soldier is fighting the other soldier on the war front is a matter of duty. But the moment he spit back at him, I felt a rage of anger and vengeance for him. And if I had killed him in that consciousness, I would have incurred a sin. So I just stopped. Now that is the consciousness of people who understand spiritual principles. For us, when we get upset, we think, wait it out. But in that consciousness, when you do that, Arjun fought a battle. Even after listening to Bhagavad Gita, he was supposed to fight a battle even before that. The reason changed. Act was the same. Because he didn't want to do it in a fit of rage, anger, and vengeance. He did it as a service to God for his pleasure, as a matter of duty at that point. So that is why anger is bad. It's a sure shot path to hell, is what our scriptures are telling us. Yes, Swain.
Excellent point. Can I just also read questions that have come this week via chat?
Sure.
So he has asked so this way do God realize saints call compassion, anger, fear, etc., everything, and feel it in real? Does love cause every feeling in their heart like us, or do they call these feelings when we love them?
It's an interesting question. When they do Leela, I believe they have the ability to forget that as well, right? Lord Krishna, let's understand. So the gang that he comes along with, Yashoda Maiya, his friends and others, most of them are saints only. Some of them are on the tipping point of God realization, who are given a dry run or a simulation in his avatar. Okay, but most of them are already realized souls. Now, if a realized soul, let's say Yashoda Maiya is wielding a stick to Krishna, and at that point she knows he's God, and Krishna also knows he's God, right? So the ras would be diminished. It will become an insipid Leela. So with his Yogamaya power, he makes mother forget and himself also. He's actually trembling at that point. Like a little kid would tremble when mother wields a stick. He's actually trembling at that point. And then his Aishwarya Shakti secretly keep on helping him. That is a different thing. Showing the Brahmand in his mouth and stuff like that. But he has the ability to make it forget so that the ras of Leela is amplified. Now, when the saints come, really depends on the purpose for which they have come. If they have come for an express purpose, they may be putting on an act. They do a Leela, showing anger, this and that stuff, but actually they are beyond all that, right? They don't need to. They are a done deal at that point, right? It's just like a puri. Puri cannot become an atta back, right? No matter how much, it's an irreversible process. So saint is like a puri, is already puri. It cannot become an atta again. But he may choose to show some attributes of Hata from time to time just to deal with this world and for whatever purpose. So, yeah.
And there are two comments. One from Lakshmi ji: act either by silence, calm, or quit from that place, divert our mind from that situation of anger.
Yeah. We'll get into the tools. We'll get into some of the tools part of it is as well tomorrow. And we will also look at it from some of the different lenses as well. Anger, what our scriptures are telling us, plus what it truly does to us. And then some of the tools that we can employ to neutralize or get better at managing our anger. We'll talk about those tools as well.
And regarding that top-down point, Ashutosh ji has mentioned, it's the intellect who makes this top-down, isn't it? If that becomes bewildered, then anger can go in any direction.
True. Normally, it doesn't go bottom-up. See, in office, the boss yells at the employee. Employee simply takes it. He will come back and vent it out at his wife. Wife will take that, vent it out at the kid. Kid will take that, vent it out at the pet. So typically the chain is top down, right? Sometimes chain might get broken, like Shyamji is an exception. So it can get broken, but normally that's the course. Its flows are always top down. Like you don't yell at your boss normally, but there might be occasions where you would do.
Venji, thank you for waiting. Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Well, I think you just addressed part of it. There's anger comes is either expressed, controlled, or suppressed.
Mm-hmm.
And the suppressed anger is like a volcano. Volcano can just, sit there and spew ashes and kind of vent itself over a long period of time and be maybe for most part harmless. But if it becomes a type of volcano that is suppressed, it becomes the most dangerous type of volcano when it finally builds up enough pressure and it blows. And it's a much more extreme than when it was just releasing its anger in controlled amounts. So
yes,
that seems like the suppressed anger is what I think we see most often in violence. It's anger that's been suppressed for some period of time, and then when it is expressed, the results are much more disastrous than.
True. I'll tell you a story, Wayne, to what you just said. Tomorrow we'll talk a little bit about the three modes in which you can express it, you can suppress it, but the most smartest strategy is to process it. Now, there was Shankaracharya. There was a guy who said, I've come to your place to take Diksha from you. Shankaracharya said, you know what? You still have a lot of anger within you and you need to work on yourself and then only I'll accept you. So you go do your sadhana and then come after a year and then only I'll take you. He said, all right. He goes and does his sadhana. After a year, he comes back. He tells the lady who used to do the brooming and cleaning there, take the dustbin and put on his head. So this lady comes and puts the dustbin on his head and he's like, immediately he retaliates. So Shankaracharya says, no, you still have anger, go back. Next time he comes again, he tells the lady, do the same. Now this time he does the same, but he does not react, okay, but still feels something within, some twitch happens in his heart. Shankaracharya says, job is still not done. You go back again. Third time when he comes, now it is fine. So point here is, even if you have suppressed it, but you have felt something within, it is still logged as a karma, right? Nahi kinchit kshanamapi. There's a shloka in Bhagavad Gita. It's not just the act that you do. It's what you feel within is counted as a karma. So suppressing is just like the seed is dormant. Seed is still there. That doesn't mean your job is done. So Bhagavad Gita gives us the technology of how to burn that seed. You have cured the symptom, but not the root cause of it as yet. Only when you are at peace and for you doesn't matter, you have risen above it, then the job is done. And nobody can give you that technology, no matter which college has self-help book, WhatsApp forward, you go and read. and tell everybody. It's only through scriptures you will get that technology.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So suppressing is not an option if that thing is still bothering you, and something that bothers you is the lesson for you. That is how this world is designed.
Yes, Rahul ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, Rahul.
Radhe Radhe. So Maharaj ji has written in his Anmol Vachan one line in Hindi that शौक पैदा करो कि लोग हमें खराब कहें और हम अंदर से हंसते रहें. So,
big idea, I know. Our mind will not cooperate, but that is the state we need to reach. See, he gives another beautiful analogy. It's like when a lady is cooking, right? In India, they cook in villages with those chulhas, right? With the wood and all that fire, right? So when they're working, sometimes their chunni or whatever, it catches fire. And when it catches fire, they immediately do like this and put it off. So say, do the same with your anger as well. Take immediate precaution if it catches fire. First of all, try to avoid it, that it doesn't catch fire by understanding the signals. But if despite your best of intentions and precaution, it still catches fire, nip it in the bud. There used to be a story in schools, I think if you have read it in CBSE or NCERT, I don't know what. A spark neglected burns the house, Leo Tolstoy's story. It's a beautiful story. There was a spark which was neglected and it consigned the entire neighborhood to flames. And that is what forest fires do as well. And that is essentially what anger does. Great point, Rahul. Thank you.
Yeah. Kumar ji, Radhe Radhe, please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe, everyone. So anger, what happens is, like, let's say there comes a situation where someone troubles you and you cannot stop it, right? You get so angry, you just spew some words. Obviously, words once let out cannot be taken back. What happens is immediately you feel, oh, okay, I have done this. You feel a little good. But if you at the end of it, let's say an hour later or late at night, you think about it, it makes you feel so bad because your soul has not enjoyed it, right? So, and that will tell you, it'll say there's something wrong, right? This is not how I should behave. And especially after you get this knowledge, I think we should probably once we get some anger, give a little time before we respond. Most of the times we won't need to respond. And this, I have seen it happen in my life because I am a guy who will just go blurt out in anger, of course, as, anger more towards someone who we think is like not powerful enough, right? Against us. But you do that, you will feel so lousy at the end of it. You'll say, why did I do that? And that, once you realize that, you kind of increase that space, and then, just not worth it, right? So that's my experience.
True.
Thank you.
Great
Radhe
point.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe, thank you. And another thing that Lord Krishna says in chapter 2 that we did earlier was that all the emotions that we feel are fleeting. Fleeting means they are not permanent, right? You had a great party, you felt great yesterday. Are you feeling the same today? No. So with anger also, it has to subside after a while. Now, if you choose to ride it for whatever reason, that's a different thing, but the feelings are fleeting. And then we need to pick and choose the feelings that we want to postpone and the ones we want to ride immediately. That choice we always have. Okay, couple of other hands. Do we want to make the announcements before we take up any more?
Yeah, mainly there is one announcement. It's about Swamiji's India's tours are starting.
India tour, wow.
So all the people in India get excited to meet and hear Swamiji in person. And so I've posted the link where you can find all the details at the JK Yoga India website, and some details about some of the shivers which will be held in India. That's also posted over there. So that's the only announcement. Apart from that,
great.
I can tell about later on maybe about our community portal where people can get information about class announcements.
Yeah. So strongly encourage you to sign up for the community portal if you haven't already, because the videos I'll be posting there, if you directly go to YouTube, you'll not be able to see those. Okay, so it will be through that. And plus some of the notifications about the classes, we'll talk about that. Change in schedule, change in some of the guidelines. That way you can get the latest and greatest information. Sign up for that WhatsApp group and check out the portal there. That's where you will get more updates. If you haven't, I think that's a great resource you would like to periodically check, and then it will eventually become a habit for you guys.
Yeah, so I can show that as well later on or whenever.
Sure. We can do a quick for that as well.
Tomorrow, that,
Let's
okay.
take some more.
Yeah,
I see Simaji today as well on video.
Who? Simaji, yeah, she joined today for the first time, I guess.
Simaji is on our Bhagavad Gita session. Very nice. Are you going to take turns with Monica or?
Both of them are here, I guess.
Okay. Nice. Welcome to the sessions. Hope you had a good one. Okay.
Awesome. I also had one quick question, if I can ask. So it was, is irritation a baby version of anger, or that's like, okay?
Yeah. Irritation, I think that's one of the things we're going to talk about. Typically we don't go from green zone to red zone. There's an amber zone in between. Irritation is a build-up before the big bang, So yes, one of the tools to tackle anger is to have your self-awareness. Now, something has started brewing up in mind. Now I'm going to become a hammer and I'll find the nail and boom. So yes, irritation is the build-up. And those are the signals we need to catch to know that, it's going to lead to something bigger now. So yes, irritation, we need to reduce our IQ, okay? We need to increase our IQ. This IQ, we have to reduce, irritation quotient.
This IQ has so many definitions, I'll start getting confused.
Yeah, we have a lot of people here with good IQ, Insta quotient, intelligence quotient, but this IQ, irritation quotient has to be reduced.
Okay, Swati ji, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Swati ji.
Yeah, Radhe
Radhe
Radhe.
Radhe, Swati ji.
Yeah, what I actually imply for myself is like, I have kept the goal that I have to go near the God realization. So I have to keep God in my heart. And if the anger comes, God will not come. So I usually analyze it like that. I should be away from the anger. I should be humble, because when I become humble, then only God will reside in me. So anger is not my preference. So even if the situation is angry, I just keep in the mind that I have to be humble. Whatever the situation comes, I have to be humble, because I don't want to God go away from my heart. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Very nice. Beautiful. Yeah, there are multiple analogies we can continue giving us, right? It's just like when we are inviting some special guest in our home, let's say a dignitary or somebody's coming, we keep our drawing room clean. And anger is just like dirtying it. If somebody says, ting tong, rings a bell, and you open it and say, yes, what do you want? He said, you know what, I've got a truckload of garbage. Can I put it in your drawing room? How would you feel? And anger is like that only. It says, all right, let me come and dirty you, and we say, bring it on. That's essentially what we are doing to ourselves. Okay, so we can build multiple analogies just to stay away from this emotion. It definitely gives us a pleasure to get angry. Okay, it's pretty interesting concept. You get a certain amount of pleasure. That pleasure has to be forfeited for something beneficial. So we don't go for pleasurable things, we go for beneficial things, is what scriptures tell us. Swamiji keeps on reiterating that concept, right? And we have to swim against the tide. This is what spirituality is all about. We don't have to put in effort to become lazy. That will come naturally. Similarly, we don't have to put effort to become angry. It's the other way around that will take a bit of an effort, and which we need to get better at. Yes, Monica ji, please tell me.
Radhe Radhe, Monica ji. Please
Radhe
go.
Radhe.
There was a movie by
Sorry,
the way,
apologies for not coming.
which is used. There was a movie, by the way, Monica ji. I just wanted to, it reminded me of a movie which gets played in Dumpsy pretty frequently. Albert Pinto ko gussa kyun aata hai?
Kyun aata hai? Yes.
Yes.
Sir.
You had a question?
Yeah, sir. Hanji, I was saying apologies for not coming on video. For some reason, I'm experiencing very bad network today. So Parshuram ji ka को भी बहुत गुस्सा आता था. He used to also be very angry at times, right? So how do we understand that anger, Nitin ji?
Parshuram ji, I think we spoke about this concept. Bhagwan Parshuram is an avatar of God. So
Yes.
they do leelas, okay, and like Durvasa Rishi also does that leela. Troubles the devotees, so that God comes, rescues them, and that is his seva to glorify the God even further.
Okay. Like
if you look at Lord Shiva, Parshuram, okay, that's part of the leela. Anger is their servant. They call upon it to fulfill their role in that leela, but they are not under the spell of anger as such, like we are. There's a difference. We said, right? Anger is their slave, and for us, we are slave of anger.
Okay. Sorry, my network would have been bad. Otherwise, I would have heard this. Thank you, Nitin ji.
As you
Understood.
are not getting angry on your network, you are getting fine.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you. Yes, thank you.
No worries.
Okay,
Yes, Samji, you have rehearsed the question at least 3 times. I heard you see that. Saw you repeat that. Go ahead, please.
Okay. When these people, Durvas Muni, they are showing anger, they are doing it as a service of God, but are they aware that are they aware of it, that they are doing service?
If I get into the head of Durvasa, I can tell you, but I think they have a sense of awareness around it, but God can make them forget at that time because they're already a done deal, right? For example, when Ravan, Kumbhakaran, Shishupal and all these, they came in an avatar, if they are always aware of it, then that ras of Leela will also get insipid, right? So God has an ability to make them forget, even though they are not under the spell of Maya at that point, right? Those karmas will not get locked because they're already done deal. So God may forget them. I don't know what happens, but saints, when they come, they are not under the spell of the afflictions of Maya, like anger, greed, and all that stuff. Let me put it that way.
That means, is it Yogamaya?
Yogamaya can make them forget. Yeah, Yogamaya, exactly. Power of Yogamaya is very powerful. God can use that power to make himself forget as well.
Okay. And regarding desires, is it better to put nothing?
Nothing. It's the best question you have asked. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, are we good then? So tomorrow we will talk about some of the tools and also the concept that Wayne brought in, express, suppress, or process. And then we'll get into how to process. So we'll get into that because it's very important to get some practical tools as well while we talk about this shloka, just so that we can have some takeaways and try experimenting in our lives as well.
So can we quickly show people how to join the WhatsApp group?
Yes, please, let's do a quick. I'm going to stop share. You can go ahead and do that. And thank you for joining. I was a bit skeptical because the time had changed, but we had a pretty good turnout and close to 80 today as well. So hopefully it's working for most of you, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Yes. Okay. So in order to get regular announcements for the class, this is all the classes, information about all the classes are there in the JKU online classes, like radhakrishnatemple.net. I have posted that. I'll just also show it. Wait.
Can't wait to see it, Sandhya. I'm so excited.
Okay, so this is where you will find information about all the classes. And if you go down, there is this tab that you can click on to join the WhatsApp group for session reminders. So from here, you all can join the WhatsApp group where you will get information about sessions. So this will be for JKU online classes. And there is another WhatsApp group where you can have discussions with participants regarding your learnings in the session. So that is the CIC WhatsApp group. So you can be part of both the groups.
And believe me, once you join these groups, it's going to change your life like never before. So do not delay. Just join it.
And should I also the JKU community portal?
Yes, community portal. That's a very important one because you'll be seeing videos there. If you go to YouTube, you'll not be able to see it, okay?
Okay, so this is the JKO community portal, in which again there are portals for all the classes. So I can go to say Bhagavad Gita class for now, and so daily wisdom from Bhagavad Gita class. And here we have various activities. So we will have announcement for the classes, we will have daily summary from the classes, and we have a lot of very, very exciting and interesting threads in which lots of us are actively participating and are putting our comments, which are very interesting to get engaged with. So do not miss out on this opportunity. I have also posted the link for this, so do join the community portal.
All the time that you spend on Facebook, I would say divert 80% of it here. You'll love it. Very nice threads going on, a lot of body of knowledge being built, beautiful videos being posted, and you'll be amazed to see some of the comments and stuff that is being posted. Do check out, take advantage of this great resource as well.
Yes, that's it from my side. Are we having the devotional segment today?
Sure. So 10 o'clock we usually, and then we get into our devotional segment. So do we have any singers there? I see Urvi. Urvi, it looks like you are not today. Do we have anybody who's willing to chant today?
You, Nitinji? No?
Do we have Payalji today?
Shyamji, wow.
Shyamji. Yes, Shyamji. Go ahead, please. So I can...
Kripa also, wonderful.
Okay. Okay, Shyamji and Kripaji today.
And you also, you were saying, right? So, okay, we'll go then. We'll start with Shyamji. Radhe Radhe Shyamji.
Radhe Radhe. I just wanted to say that please join the community portal. It's a thing to know yourself and I would like to tell you that please put cameras on when you speak so that you can come back on the portal and see yourself speaking on the big screen. It's like sharing your stage with Bhagavan, Krishna, Maharajji, Swamiji, and you feel good, elated that at least I am there somewhere so that I can be some service to God and Guru, and I can be some motivation to other fellow people so that we all are there where we want to be.
Thank you, Shyamji. And because you gave such an inspirational speech, I'm going to sing as well, okay? I'm going to sing something that you would love to hear, I'm sure. And even if you don't,
the way you cut the video and posted it there, I was really amazed and surprised. And the way Urvi and Hema and Sandhya, they all push me at times. Besides you always do that. I'm really zapped and surprised that it's the Leela of God and Guru that they are always pushing me. Whenever I feel low, somebody is there to prick me and I'm there on again. I just really want to thank everybody in this group.
Thank you, Shyamji. It's always a pleasure to hear. Now it's your singing time, so let's get started.
I'll try.
And I'll be the last one today after Kripa, and I'm going to recite something more than singing. So let's do that quickly.
Okay. Yeah. मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है. मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है. करते हो तुम कन्हैया मेरा नाम हो रहा है. करते हो तुम कन्हैया मेरा नाम हो रहा है. मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है. मेरा आपकी कृपा से सब काम हो रहा है. Radhe Radhe. That's it.
Very nice, Shyamji. Radhe Radhe. It's a beautiful bhajan. It really encapsulates, the way things go about in our life, and it's one of my favorite bhajans. So thank you for a beautiful rendition. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much,
Shyamji. And it's no coincidence that you said Mera Aapki Kripa Se, and Kripa is here. There you go.
Okay, Kripa, Radhe Radhe. Please go ahead.
Radhe Radhe. Today I'm going to sing a Nepali bhajan. Okay. तन मन वचनले प्रभु नाम गाओ. हरे राम हरे कृष्णा वंदे रमायो. Okay. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Okay. तन मन बचन ले प्रभु नाम गाओ, हरे कृष्णा भन्दै रमाओ। तन मन बचन ले बसी अग्निमा स्वर्ण चम्कन्छ धेरै, फसी मोहमा बढ्छ चाहना धेरै। बसी अग्निमा स्वर्ण चम्कन्छ धेरै, फसी मोहमा बढ्छ चाहना धेरै। त्यसैले प्रभु द्वन्द्व यो बुझ्न पाऊ, त्यसैले प्रभु द्वन्द्व यो बुझ्न पाऊ। सधैँ कृष्ण कृष्ण भनी दिन बिताऊ, तन मन वचनले प्रभु नाम गाओ, हरे कृष्ण भन्दै रमाऊ, तन मन वचनले। That's it. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Nice, Kripa. Radhe Radhe. I'm so glad, your Krishna Bhakti is blossoming day by day. You started with the Vipassana and stuff, and look at you now. So nice.
Very sweet.
Very sweet. Very sweet. All right. So I will just recite. It's not a bhajan, okay? It's Gopi Samvad stuff, right? That Swamiji says. So I cannot do like him, but let me give it a shot a little bit. So this is what gopis have to say to Lord Krishna. Okay. Let me try that, okay? Forgive me, apologies in advance, but let me try that anyways. वाटन में घाटन में वीथन में बागन में, बेलन में वाटिका में फूलन में वन में, दारन में दीवारन में देहरी दरीचन में, हीरन में हारन में भूषण में तन में, कानन में कुंजन में गोपिन में गायन में, गोकुल में गोधन में दामिनी में घर में, जहाँ जहाँ देखूं तित श्याम ही दिखाई दे, मेरे श्याम छाए रहियो नैनन में मन में. So that is what gopis, they express their sentiment that wherever they see Krishna only. They are ever united with him. Okay, so with that.
Thanks. When I heard them for the first time from Swamiji, it was like amazing. Thanks for reminding of this. This is beautiful.
All right, great. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation and turning on your cameras. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow as we go a layer deeper into the concept and the shloka that we are discussing. So thank you again. Radhe Radhe. Have a wonderful evening and a great rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody. Radhe Radhe.